Radha Madhava Javihari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranja Yamunatira Vanachari. Anacharya Shri Haridas Thakur ki jai, Ram Sri Bhagavad Sri Srivasadi Gaur Bhakti Vrinda ki jai, all glories for simple devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories for simple devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories for simple devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tado Jayamudire Ashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavad Yuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Lankayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Sri Gurudinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Iswaram. Hare Krishna. So we are trying to go through the Bhagavad Gita in a very concise, capsulated manner so that it acts as a refresher, a reminder for all of us that because all of us are students of the Bhagavad Gita and during our lifetime we will remain students of the Bhagavad Gita because one can never say that one has mastered Bhagavad Gita. If somebody claims that I have mastered Bhagavad Gita, then that means he has not understood what is Bhagavad Gita. So, this is one exercise wherein we once again just try to encapsulate what Bhagavad Gita, what Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita, so that it acts like a refresher course for all the students of Bhagavad Gita. This is by no means a very detailed study, but then since we are all together, we can just try to. I am trying to do this in 6 sessions, so I am looking to cover 3 chapters in each session. So it will be really like a capsule, but then it will be good. Any type of Bhagavad Gita study is good, whether you study it in very detail, whether you study it. Sometimes we also need to get the full flow of Bhagavad Gita in a certain way, because sometimes what happens is that Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, these are all like very dense forest with so many trees. Every shloka is like a tree and it's so huge. And when you are in one shloka, it's like in the middle of the forest you are in one tree. And then you lose sight of the big forest. Sometimes it happens. So this exercise is meant to help us to get an overview of the Bhagavad Gita. So we start with the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, which is Srila Prabhupada has entitled it Observing the Armies on the Battlefield. The general terminology used is Arjuna Vishada Yoga, which means Arjuna's Vishada, that is Arjuna's sadness, that is expressed in the first chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. That is basically the main thrust in the first chapter is basically that. So, what is the background of this Bhagavad Gita? It actually comes in the masterpiece of Vyasadeva, the Itihasa, which is originally titled Jaya, but we know it as Mahabharata. The original name of Mahabharata is Jaya, victory. But because it spoke about the Mahabharata, then that name caught on. Vyasa called it Jaya, victory of Dharma over Adharma. That's that word. So, Bhagavad Gita is placed within this great Itihasa called Jaya. Why? Because Vyasa wrote Veda, he didn't write, he rather codified the Vedas and then he wrote Vedanta Sutra. And then he further wrote Puranas and then he also wrote this one Itihasa. And as we all know, this Itihasa is meant for people of lower intelligence, so to say. Means people like us. Okay? Don't feel bad about it. It's okay. It's okay to be less intelligent. As long as I understand that I'm less intelligent, I'm okay. So, for the less intelligent people, he presented this Itihasa. Itihasa, how does Itihasa differ from Purana? Is because Purana is about things that happened over a very long period of time. It will cover yugas. A Purana would cover yugas. That is why when you approach Srimad Bhagavad Purana, you will find something that happened in Satya Yuga, something that happened in Treta Yuga, something that happened in Dwapara Yuga, something that Bhagavad Purana begins with something that happened at almost the beginning of Kali. So there will be Yugantara within a Purana. Itihasa is more specific. Itihasa is one timeline, one history. And Itihasa also is different in a way that it is recorded while it happened. Vyasa, as he wrote Jaya, this was happening. So this is more or less like a running commentary. When Lord Ramachandra was ruling, Valmiki wrote. That is why these two Itihasas, they are written at the time that it happened. So that is why they are called Itihasa and this is called Purana. Purana means they will write at one point of time, but they will cover a very long period historically. That is why it is called Purana. And this is called Itihasa. So Vyasa is doing this. This is called also the Itihasa is called the fifth Veda, as we know. There are 4 Vedas, and then this especially Jaya is called the fifth Veda because it's a very voluminous exercise, 24,000 shlokas. It's not a joke, and it covers a huge topic. So Vyasa also wanted, and by the Lord's arrangement, that even when somebody is studying or reading this Itihasa, he should also get the summary understanding of what is given in the Vedas. Although it is presented as an Itihasa, it's a history of basically a family. It is basically one family's history, this entire Mahabharata, right? It's the Kurus. It's about them, right? They're all the Kurus, the Vrishnis, the Yadus, they're all, family connection is the Chandra Vamsha. So like that one Vamsha, one history. But because the less intelligent people will read this because it is presented in a very historical format, So that is more interesting and more appealing, more appealing than Purana is Itihasa. So within that, there has to be also this philosophy encapsulated, which also contains the ultimate philosophy. That is how this Bhagavad Gita is placed within this wonderful writing of Vyasa. So that is the background of Bhagavad Gita as we find it. So you may say that this is actually many people, so-called Vedantists, no? So-called Vedantists, why I say is because they are not real Vedantists. A real Vedanti will understand that Bhagavad Gita is actually same as Vedanta. The so-called Vedantist would say that I don't accept Bhagavad Gita because it's part of Itihasa. It is not Shruti, they would say. One devotee is regularly come and complain to me that I am trying to explain to this man that, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that immediately he says it is not Shruti. Then I tell him that, this is Krishna spoke. He says, no, that is within the Itihasa, so I don't accept. I said, I accept only Vedanta. I said, then he does not know what is Vedanta. He told me that I am even chanting the 15:15 to him, Vedanta Krit Veda Videva Chaham, 15:15. 15 chapter 15 sloka. Everybody knows. They are not accepting. So some people don't accept also because they are not intelligent enough to accept. Okay. So that's one side of it. So the background of Krishna instructing this to Arjuna is the beginning of this great war between this within this family. It is a fratricidal war, basically. It means it is a war fought between brothers. That is what makes it so complicated. A war fought between brothers, one side led by Duryodhana, who is adharmi. Very, very interesting that Duryodhana is somebody who knows what is dharma and he knows what is adharma, but he chooses to practice adharma over dharma. He asked this question to Vidura once, that he says that I know what is dharma, I know what is adharma, and then why am I being compelled to behave like this? You ask. So Vidura would say that is because of your upbringing. It is because of your upbringing, because your father, he is not only physically blind, he is actually blind. You can be physically blind and you can actually see the truth. And you can be having eyes and not being able to see the truth. So he said, your father is blind both ways. Therefore, because of that, you have become like this. So Duryodhana, the adharmi on one side, and on the other side is Pandavas. Although Yudhishthira is the eldest among the Pandavas, all their hopes are resting on one man, Arjuna. Yudhishthira is not a great warrior. Bhima is a great warrior, but he has taken a certain responsibility and he says, this is what I am going to kill the 100 fellows. So that means he is going to be very busy during the war because 100 guys he has to kill. He's already taken that responsibility. But these 100 guys again are not the key persons. Out of the 198 are waste. Only two matter, Duryodhana and Dushasana. 98 are waste fellows, but still it takes time, no? It's a war. And then there are other Maharathis on the other side. Bhishma, Drona, Kripa, and there are various others. In the beginning of the first chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, we will see a list of the great warriors on both sides. Just to give us an understanding of what is the gravity of the situation. And here is Arjuna, who is supposed to take out all these key persons from the other side. Basically, Yudhishthira is depending on Arjuna to win the war. To put it very shortly, Yudhishthira is depending on Arjuna to win this war. That's how it is. And already they are outnumbered by 11 to 7. You should know. Kauravas had 11 Akshaurnis and these people had 7. So already they are disadvantaged. And if you count the number of Maharathis also, you will find that Duryodhana's side had more Maharathis, and then these people, their side had less Maharathis. So already in Hindi they say Parada Bhari hai. That means Duryodhana's side is already heavy. That is the scene at the beginning. But still, these people, because they have already been done against so much by the Kauravas, their wife has been insulted. And so they are all burning with that, Viram, the Virya Rasa, they are all burning with that. And they have decided to take on saying that you are strong, I don't care. We are going to, get back at you. So with that, these people have come. They are all Arjuna. Again, some more background to add. Arjuna has actually traveled and done so much tapas over so many years and gotten so many divyastras. All Arjuna is the one who spent the maximum time in preparation for this war. He does so much of hard work, collecting so many astras, propitiating so many devatas, including Mahadeva, and getting all the special astras, everything for what? For this one war. You know. So why I am saying this is because this person called Arjuna is actually the hero here. In this scene, he is the hero. Krishna is actually the kingmaker, as we say, no. Behind every hero, there has to be a kingmaker who will make him shine as the hero. So here the role is role is that of the hero and Krishna is the kingmaker. That is the role Krishna plays. Is Krishna does not need to be the hero everywhere because he is like the hero of the heroes. Because we may wonder why Arjuna got all this, because Krishna is supreme. He does not need to be the hero everywhere. That is why Arjuna got this. And also, Krishna gives the reasons, because you are my friend, because you are not envious of me. So if at all we want to be heroes, you simply have to be friendly with Krishna. That's all. Bhaktosime sakhacheti rahasyam hetaduttamam. Because you are my devotee and you are my friend. So that is why we should all aspire to become devotee and friend of Krishna. Then we will be remembered forever. Arjuna is remembered forever simply because of these two qualities only. Pravakshyami anasuyave. He said, because you are not envious of me. Don't be envious of Krishna, be Krishna's friend, be Krishna's devotee, and then you are a hero. If you don't have these qualities, whatever other qualities we may have, we will be zero. Because later on Arjuna realizes that he is a big zero. Towards in the Srimad Bhagavatam, after Krishna leaves, we see that Arjuna, he takes it very easily because he understands that, I was hero because I was propped up as the hero. I am actually not the hero. It's the director who shows somebody as the hero. That fellow is only acting out his role. That's what Krishna told Arjuna. Also, Nimitta matra bhava savyasachin. He said, you just become the instrument. I am only doing. The director is only giving the instruction and tells the hero that now you take the weapon and now you hit him. And he simply follows the director, and then all the crowd will stand up and clap. Similarly, Krishna and Arjuna. So, first chapter, 46 shlokas. In the first 27 shlokas, we see preparation for the battle. And then from the 28th shloka of the first chapter till the end of the first chapter, 46th shloka, is Arjuna's Vishada. Krishna Vyasa is building it up, saying that how Dhritarashtra is asking Sanjaya, because this is actually a conversation between Dhritarashtra and Sanjaya, where Dhritarashtra is asking what is happening in the battlefield, what are my sons doing and what are Pandu's sons doing. So Prabhupada, in the very first purport of the Bhagavad Gita, he speaks in so much detail about, Kurukshetra being Dharmakshetra and how that is going to decide, because the protector and maintainer of Dharma is on the side of the Pandavas. And then in the middle of the first chapter only, the real hero comes in. Krishna is first mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita, Senayor Bhayor Madhye Ratham Stapayame Achyuta. So the entry of Krishna in Bhagavad Gita is as Achyuta. Very notable. The purport Prabhupada would say Krishna is being addressed as Achyuta by Arjuna to show that you are infallible. That means you won't make mistake. You cannot fall. You are infallible. So from that, he is reminding Krishna that okay, you are Achyuta. So that means you should give me correct instruction. Everything that Arjuna speaks, because we must understand, Prabhupada speaks about this at various places. We must understand the level of intellect of Arjuna because he is asking questions to Krishna. So this is actually the topmost intellectual conversation in the entire universe, Krishna and Arjuna. Because Arjuna is also very adept. He is not only a warrior, he has studied everything. Is it not? He also knows Veda, Vedanta, everything because he will, when he speaks to Krishna, he will say, no, I have heard through the parampara. He will say like that. So that means he knows. He knows parampara. He knows what is parampara, what is the importance of parampara, everything. So conches are blown on both sides and war is about to begin. That is the time when Arjuna is telling Krishna that please put the chariot in the middle. And very conveniently, Krishna places the chariot right in front of Bhishma. For a moment, you think if you had gone and placed the chariot right facing Duryodhana and Dushasana, Bhagavad Gita would not have come. Immediately, Arjuna would have taken Gandiva and started. Right? Krishna, we must understand, is the ultimate game player. You know, the way he can set up a game, nobody can. You know? So in Hindi, he will say that when we speak about Krishna, is this Yuddha Rachaya. That means he actually drew this on a board, Krishna, his entire Mahabharata. And he placed everything like this. He knows this like this will knock off this like this. It's all Krishna's game plan, you know. So he goes and puts the chariot right in front of Bhishma and Drona. Bhishma's dearmost great grandson is Arjuna. Having lost his father at a very young age, Bhishma is the father figure as far as Arjuna is concerned. And right next to him is his Acharya Drona. He was Drona's favorite student. So looking at them and finished. You see how quickly Arjuna changes. Huh? Very notable because in the beginning I spoke about the background. This man has spent so much time in life preparing for this war. He has taken the biggest amount of tapasya preparing for this war. 1 second he lost all determination. He lost all determination. Why? That is where the study for us begins. Why did he lose his determination? He is actually a very determined person. He was very steely determination he had that yes, I am going to win back this, not because I want to win the country, but because these people have done wrong to us. That is a proper Kshatriya spirit Arjuna had. The moment he saw grandfather, finished. The moment he saw the grandfather, and then he's seeing not only Duryodhana and Dushasana, he's seeing their sons and all the other relatives, young boys, of Abhimanyu's age, they're all standing on the opposite side. So immediately he becomes, compassionate. Prabhupada says that is because Arjuna is also a devotee. So immediately his heart is filled with compassion, all determination gone. All young boys, all are like my sons. They are my brothers after all. So the entire Kshatriya spirit gone in no time. Arjuna Vishada Yoga. So Arjuna is telling Krishna that I don't want to fight this war. He has come so prepared. All the Divyastras are there with him. This Ratha is given by Agni as a special boon. This is a special chariot for you to fight. And the Chitraratha has given him the special horses. They will not become tired. Everything that he has got is very special. Indra has given him a quiver that will never run out of arrows. Just imagine when you say preparation, this is preparation. And Gandiva is specially designed and given by Varuna. Because Varuna, among the Devatas, he's one of the best warriors, you know that. Varuna, after Vishnu, he is one of the best warriors, not Indra. Varuna is very well known. That is why when Hiranyakashipu went to fight, he couldn't find anybody, so he went to Varuna. He said, I want to fight. Varuna said, now I have become very old. I retire from fighting. If you go and chase Hari only, he never retires. He is always young, so you go and fight him. Because that somebody told him that, if you don't find Vishnu, this is the next man to fight. So that Varuna has given him this special Gandiva. And because these people are fighting on the side of Dharma, Hanuman himself said, okay, I will come and sit on your flag, and give you that. Because he is another person who actually carried Lord Ramchandra in the fight. No other devotee has got this kind of a service what Hanuman had. Ramchandra was shooting all the arrows sitting on Hanuman's shoulder. Only the final fight with Ravana, he got a special chariot. A chariot was sent and then he got the chariot. Before that, he didn't have chariot at all. Half the time he'll be standing on ground. Whenever he wants to go up, Hanuman will come, he'll sit on shoulder and go. So that Hanuman, so all these facilities this person has got, and now he is saying, I don't want to fight. And then he gives all the excuses saying that there will be so many widows, Dharma will go for a toss. What are you talking? You are from a great lineage, and you want me to, you are Janardana, you are do-gooder for everybody, and now you want me to. All indirect attacks he will put on Krishna. As if Krishna is making him fight the war. No, Arjuna is acting typically like the living entity. Problem is mine. He lost determination because he saw all the relatives and now he is blaming Krishna. You are my friend. You want me to fight this war? Like this indirectly. All the questions that Arjuna is asking in the first chapter is indirectly blaming Krishna questions. If you study it very scrutinizingly. And finally he says, Sanjaya says that Arjuna puts down his Gandiva. This putting down Gandiva actually has got very great significance. Arjuna has taken a vow, a shapadha, that anybody in war, during wartime, if anybody asks Arjuna to put down his Gandiva, he will kill him. That is one shapadha of Arjuna. Because in the Mahabharata war, when on the first day Arjuna could not kill Karna, evening Yudhishthira will say, better you give up your Gandiva. You could not kill him. Because war, we think, war is a very stressful situation. Don't think that after war they will go and pay obeisance to Yudhishthira like that. No, they are all in that very charged up mood. So immediately he took Gandiva, he went to kill Yudhishthira. So Krishna said, hey, brother, don't. So he said, but I have taken the Shabada that, this fellow is telling me what nonsense. He is my brother. I am going to kill him. So Krishna said, no, you cannot kill him because he is your elder brother, equivalent to your father. So then Arjuna said, then what about my Shabadam? So Krishna said, equivalent to killing an elder is insulting him. So then Arjuna insulted Yudhishthira like anything. You are like this, you are like that, you are useless fellow and all this. So that is how he maintained that Shabad. So that man, without anybody telling, he put Gandiva. So this is the gravity of the situation. prepared, spent so many years, so much trouble and everything, and now I don't want to wait. And then when the second chapter begins, his confusion is continuing. Even in the second chapter, we will see that his confusion continues up to the 10th shloka. Second chapter is actually quite a big chapter, contents of the Gita summarized, Prabhupada says, because it has, in a very summary form, what is there in the Bhagavad Gita. And you will find that, second chapter covers again Arjuna's further doubts and then Arjuna's surrender. Then Krishna, in the next around 20 slokas, 11th sloka to 30th sloka, Krishna will give him jnana. There is difference between body and soul is given by Krishna in the second chapter between slokas 11 and 30. And then 31 to 38, Krishna speaks about karma kanda, dharma of a kshatriya. How Krishna takes Arjuna through various levels, Then from sloka 39 onwards, he starts speaking about nishkama karma, which is called as, Krishna terms as buddhi yoga. Buddhi yoga is actually nishkama karma yoga. Both are same. And then, end of the chapter, Krishna speaks to Arjuna about being a sthita prajna. So this is the second chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. So again, after Arjuna becomes so affected and becomes very sad, first question Krishna is asking Arjuna is Kutastva Kashmalamidam Vishame Samupastitam Anari Justamaswargyam Akirtikaram Arjuna. You will tell him, what happened to you? Kutastva Kashmalam. He says, what impurity has come upon you? You are all of a sudden you are speaking not like an Aryan. Aryan not means what you studied in history, social studies. Aryans came in Kudure from Central Asia. All that untruth. Please don't believe it. Arya means one who understands the real value of life, the real meaning of life. Arya basically means somebody who knows the difference between body and soul. That's Arya. So, Krishna is asking Arjuna, what happened to you? Again, you are confused. Because Krishna has a very good reason telling Arjuna like this. Because you are very well trained, first of all. You know all these things. And you are wronged against that also, you are very much aware of it. And you are a very responsible person. You are a kshatriya, you are a prince, and you are an administrator. So you know all these responsibilities. Why are you suddenly behaving like this? So Krishna does not show any great understanding. Oh, Arjuna, I understand your position. After all, he is your grandfather. Krishna doesn't speak like that. We must see how Krishna deals with this situation with Arjuna. Always when we speak about God being very, very merciful, this may sound like not so merciful. What mercy Krishna is showing? Krishna is actually chastising Arjuna. So we must understand that chastisement by the Lord at the appropriate time is actually Him showing mercy. That chastisement is Krishna's mercy. Because Arjuna actually at that time requires that chastisement. So he's scolding Arjuna. You are actually a very intelligent man. Don't behave like an idiot. Simply that's how he speaks. Krishna tells to Arjuna that although you are speaking the words of a Pandita, thinking that you are a Pandita, but what you are talking is nonsense. This is how Krishna says. Now see the change. Now Arjuna put up all his arguments, told I don't want to do. Then he explains that I am confused. After all, these are all people. They are all worshipable for me. And rather than killing, I am better off begging, blah blah blah, all those things he says, trying to sound like very renounced. Prabhupada says that this type of renunciation is not good. Running away from responsibility and calling oneself renounced, that is not good. So that's what Arjuna is trying to do here, and that is why Krishna is chastising him. If Arjuna was showing the real mood of real renunciation, Krishna would have reacted. But here, you have something to do. So another thing, as an essence of Bhagavad Gita, we need to understand, it's all about taking responsibility. Is it not? Nowhere in the Bhagavad Gita there is any indication about giving up responsibility. Is there? No. It's all about taking responsibility, but taking responsibility smartly without being dumped on our head with it. Yesterday you were asking, yoga karma sukausalam. That is what it is all about. So then Arjuna, he also is very intelligent. So he has now realized that I am confused. I don't know what is good for me. So what does he do? He says, I am now surrendered to you as a disciple. So this is the next lesson that we learn in Bhagavad Gita, that yes, I first need to surrender to an instructor. Because I don't know, I should go and surrender to somebody who knows. That example Arjuna is giving here by telling Krishna that Shishyaste aham shadimam tvam prapannam. He says, now I am a surrendered soul unto you. So only after this, Acharyas say that now Krishna takes on the role of the teacher. Until now, friend. So scolding also like a friend. Now, because Arjuna said, no, I am surrendered to you. So now the role reversal is happening in the 10th sloka, 9th or 10th sloka. Role reversal, where Arjuna says, no, I am your disciple. No more is friend business gone. Friend completely, not completely gone. By 11th chapter, friend will be completely gone. After seeing Vishwarupa, that entire friendly thing will be gone. But now, that friend role is gone. Although it is because of the friendship, this whole thing is happening. That also we must understand. Simply because Krishna loved Arjuna so much as a friend, that's why he said, I will become your charioteer. Actually, charioteer means what? It is a very low job, driver, no? It's a driver job. This is not some great job at all. That is why when Karna wanted Shalya to be his charioteer, he said, what nonsense, I am a Kshatriya, you are a Suta's son, you want me to be your charioteer? All the Kshatriyas are also great charioteers themselves, because if the charioteer dies, then the warrior himself will take control of the chariot. So it's not that they don't know, but they have some lowly fellows who will do that for them. And that job Krishna has accepted from Arjuna purely because of his friendship. Because during the war, how they will give sign to the charioteer is, when if the warrior wants the chariot to turn left, he doesn't have time, so he will simply, kick his left shoulder of the charioteer. One kick, so immediately. This is what Arjuna was doing to Krishna. He was taking all these things. This is why we call him Bhaktavatsala. He will do. When we say that Krishna will do anything for his devotee, this also he will do. This also he will do. So many of the arrows Krishna took from Arjuna in the war. Because the charioteer gets shot first, always. The first they will aim at charioteer only, because to disarm a warrior, you have to first kill the horses, then knock off the charioteer, all these things. It goes step by step. The science of war is very, very clear in all these things. So they would do all these things, and Krishna has very willingly taken up this role. And now this fellow says, I don't want to fight. Just imagine how angry Krishna has to be. For you, I have taken this job also. which I've never done for anybody. Become your driver and I don't want to fight. You think Krishna will leave him like that? No, he will not. He will make him fight. So now Arjuna says, I am confused. I don't know what is good for me. So this is also all our situation. Yesterday somebody was asking, no, what is the necessity of a guru? Necessity of guru is that we actually don't know what is good for us. We think we know what is good for us. Actually, none of us know what is good for us. If we knew what is good for us, we won't be here, first of all, in this material world, I mean. So Arjuna takes that position of being the ignorant living entity and says that I don't know what is good for me. So please instruct me. So then we see from the 11th shloka onwards, Natvevaham Jatunasam Natvamunevechana. That is where the instructions start. Krishna tells Arjuna that you are eternal, I am eternal. There was never a time when we both were not existing. So their very fundamental philosophy, Krishna delineates about the soul's eternal individuality, and the Supreme Lord's eternal individuality is brought out in this very first instructive sloka of the Bhagavad Gita. I, the soul I have an eternal individual position, and the Lord also has an eternally individual position. And that position is brought out through the first up to the 30th shloka, where Krishna speaks about the soul. You are the Atma. As an Atma, you can enter anywhere. That is how we have entered this body. We will also enter so many, we have already entered so many other bodies. We can travel anywhere as the soul through various bodies. We can travel. All these things, Krishna will tell. Then Krishna will appeal to Arjuna's Kshatriya spirit. He will appeal to Arjuna's Kshatriya spirit by saying that you are a Kshatriya. If you run away from this war, all people will laugh at you. And he says, infamy is worse than death. To, to be known as somebody who ran away from war is very, very bad, Arjuna. This is told by Krishna, who ran away from a war. Ranchod Rai, in Gujarat, there is temple also for him, the Lord who ran away from the war. But he is advising Arjuna, if you run away, for me, good name, bad name, any name is name for me. For you, it's not like that. Again, the difference between the Supreme Lord and the living entity, you see. Whatever he does, because it is transcendental, running away from war also, we will worship him like that. You ran away from war. This is the Lord who ran away from the war. But will any Kshatriya be appreciated for running away from a war? Will not. Because that's the difference between Bhagavan and the living entity. So Krishna says, people will laugh at you. Infamy is worse than death. What are you going to do? Better you be killed by Duryodhana than run away from war. At least they will say he fought Duryodhana and Duryodhana killed him. He is also a warrior, you are also a warrior. Even if you are killed, you will at least get Swarga. What are you going to gain by running away? Like this, first he will speak. And then he will start speaking, do your work and don't be attached to the result of the work. So first he will try to attract him by saying that with expectation you do, so that you get good name, fame, swarga, all these things. And gradually he's bringing him up, saying that anyway you have to do. Why? Because you have adhikara for that only. We have the right only to do work. We have no right to do anything else actually. So anybody thinking that I don't have to work is actually having a misunderstanding. But the problem is, karmani eva adhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. Krishna says, Ma karma phala hetu. Correct? That you are actually not the cause of the result of work that I am giving. So this is yet another fundamental instruction that Krishna gives in the second chapter itself about Nishkama Karma. Basically, it is a very, very basic truth, but we are not able to see it. We are not able to see it. Why? Because Kartaham Itti Manyate Ahankara Vimudhatma. Because we are Ahankara and we are Vimudhatma, we are not able to see that. But Krishna, in the beginning itself, is instructing that you have only Adhikara for karma, the result you don't have Adhikara. That is why we have to be detached from the result. It is actually a very intelligent thing to do. That is why Nishkama Karma Yoga is called Buddhi Yoga. Why? Because you have to have Buddhi to practice this. Only with Buddhi you will understand that actually result is not in my control. But the problem is what we are thinking that I am the cause of the result. My action is actually the cause of the result. Yes, we say no, every action there is equal and opposite. So am I not the cause? Is my action the cause or not? This is the burning question in every seeker's mind and heart. Hey, I am the one who is doing here. So result also for me only. No? It's a, it's a very valid question. No? But Krishna says no. You do result, I will give. Whether I give or not is up to me. So this is again the Supreme Lord instructing the living entity to accept His supremacy. This we can follow only if we accept the Krishna's supremacy. Otherwise, when we think that I deserve this, when I think like that, that I'm actually deserving this, what does that mean? That means I am not accepting the supreme authority called Krishna. And if actually whatever you do in the material world, result is not in your hand anyway. This will get explained in greater detail in the 18th chapter. Where it speaks about the time, the place, the effort, and everything. Ultimately, there is a one who is permitting. Unless he permits, nothing will work. Right? It's just like we make a building. We can do the plan, we can get the architect, we can unload the cement and the block and the steel and everything. Ultimately, the municipality fellow does not give you permit. You are finished. You can build also, but you cannot stay. Right? So somebody has to be the permission giver. So that is the Supreme Lord. So without that, nothing becomes complete. So he speaks about that. So then Arjuna asks, if one has to do all these things, then one has to have sthita prajna. That means you should have very determined consciousness. Sthita means steady. Prajna means intelligence, consciousness. So then Krishna explains to him about who is Sthita Prajna. Why? Because Sthita Prajna and Nishkama Karma will go together. Nishkama Karmi has to be Sthita Prajna. Only if you are Sthita Prajna, you can be Nishkama Karmi. These are all very closely interrelated. So Krishna will explain to Arjuna that somebody who is able to withstand the constant flow of desires. So again, Krishna is giving the indication that desire will flow constantly. From all these things, we should put always a corollary and see how it works. Never does Krishna say that no, this will all stop. No, this will keep flowing. Desire will keep on because this is a 24/7 factory, which is called our mind, and it is constantly producing desires. Where it is going to stop? It will not stop. I always give the example of this glass factory. You know, the glass manufacturing process, Prabhu, it has a that furnace has like a 7 year, 9 year life. That means it constantly works until its life runs out. It doesn't stop at all. So constantly they have to keep pouring silica and it will keep on producing glass. Those who know about glass industry, they would know this. It doesn't stop. Once it stops, it's finished. So like this, as long as the living entity is inside this body and along with his mind, you will keep on producing desire. You can't do anything about it. You can't stop it. You can't stop it. Vedas speak about the mind moving at its speed, which is greater than anything else. That is why this term speed of mind is there. You would have heard the word speed of mind. That means mind can be faster than anything else. We speak about light years and all. No, speed means light years. No, no. Mind has got much more faster. Mind is much faster than that. Why? Because you are now here, your mind is somewhere else. I am talking Bhagavad Gita, your mind is somewhere else. How quickly it goes, that is the speed of mind. Why? Because it is producing some desire. That desire is not matching with listening Bhagavad Gita. So what happens? Gone. Right? Sthita Prajna means his mind also produces desire, but he is not bothered about it. Just like Krishna also gives the example of the tortoise pulling its head, under that shell. He says that somebody who can pull all his senses inward, that means otherwise I use the senses to enjoy. Senses are actually, as far as the living entity is concerned, the senses are via medium by which we interact with the material world. I am seeing all these wonderful things, I am hearing all these wonderful things, I'm feeling all these wonderful things, everything, how it happens? Through the senses. And Krishna tells Arjuna that you have to, these are all things that will keep happening, you have to tolerate. Correct? That this body, because it is run through the senses and it is interacting with the material world through the senses, you have to learn to tolerate it. Again, Siddha Prajna means one who is not bothered about it. Tolerate is one's level, not bothering about it is the next level actually. Tolerate means still there is some, you feel it. And then I have to tolerate. Not bothered means then you've gone one step beyond tolerate. That is Siddha Prajna. So Sthita Prajna means one who is very, very focused on his aim. So that aim is for him to attain the Supreme, to be linked to the Supreme in yoga. So using his intelligence by working without being attached to the results, he remains very calm. And Krishna concludes the second chapter by saying that such a person is eligible for moksha. So second chapter is began with you are not this body and ended with who is eligible for moksha. So actually that is why Prabhupada says it is contents of Gita summarized. Why? Because what do you want? Moksha. No? That's ultimate aim. Okay, we have Panchamupurushartha Prema, that is different. But on a regular scale, what is the ultimate aim? Moksha. Right? So from a man who is crying saying that I don't want to fight the war, Krishna started saying that you are not this body, these people are all there, they will all die anyway. Whether you kill them or not, they will die. Because they are all very old. Bhishma is very, very old, Drona is old, anyway they are going to die. So you killing them is not going to make any difference. And anyway, all these bodies are perishable. Everything Krishna explains, and finally he speaks about one who is Siddha Prajna, staying within the body, undergoing all these things, and not being affected by all these things actually makes you eligible for moksha. That doesn't mean that you are immediately getting moksha. By being Siddha Prajna, you are qualified. Right? You have written NEET and you have got the rank, so you are eligible. Getting in is the next step only. Right? So, but for the eligibility, you have to work. Same way, Siddha Prajna, becoming Siddha Prajna is part of our effort to become eligible for moksha. This does not mean that immediately I become Siddhaprajna next is all. No, not like that. You have to be Siddhaprajna and you have to practice yoga. Nishkama karma yoga. You know, that means you have to do all the activities, no running away from that, and not be attached to the results. Why? Don't think that you are doing something great by, oh, I am not attached to it. Are Baba, it is not yours. You know? By not being attached does not mean that, oh, I am, I am doing Krishna some favor or I am doing everybody some favor. No. I am not attached to it because actually it doesn't belong to me. I am not being attached because it does not belong to me. It is actually given by somebody else. So I don't have adhikara. I may desire, but I don't deserve. Prabhupada speaks about this desiring and deserving. So you may desire so many things, but you don't deserve. So without deserving, if you simply desire, it is not going to happen. So first we have to come to the stage where we deserve. So the Siddha Prajna is the stage where, okay, he deserves moksha, but then he has to work for it. So that is where the second chapter gets concluded. And then as we move to the third chapter, what happens? Third chapter is entitled Karma Yoga. So now Krishna is going to further explain about karma. So again, Arjuna begins the third chapter. By second chapter begins with Arjuna's crying. Now Arjuna has stopped. By the end of second chapter, Arjuna has got idea. Buddhi Yoga, he got idea Buddhi Yoga. Previously, he got idea that, I am a Kshatriya, so I should work. Sakama Karma. Krishna begins with Sakama Karma. That is why it is said from Karma Kanda to Karma Yoga. Sakama Karma, you are a Kshatriya, you do. You get all your good name, fame, everything. You will get kingdom, you will get fame, you can enjoy. And then he says, actually, that is not such a good proposal because if you enjoy, you will also suffer. So I'll tell you something better. You do everything, but don't have the expectation of the result so that you will be saved of the disappointment. What is the primary reason for all disappointments in life? Expectation. Is it not? And expecting something that is not within our control. That is the whole problem. I expect something which is within my control, then okay, it makes sense. But I am always expecting something that's out of my control. This is what Stephen Covey said and made a lot of money. He wrote a book called Seven Habits of Effective People. That he speaks about the circle of influence. That is this one. Nishkama Karma Yoga only. He presented it in a very fancy way and he got a lot of money. Simply from Bhagavad Gita, he told Stephen Covey, very famous guy. Seven habits of, you would have heard, I'm sure. A lot of these youngsters, they would hear because Stephen Covey is a very, what do you call, life coach or, influencer or all those fancy things. Anyway, so Krishna is effectively telling Arjuna that, if that is not within your circle of influence, then you can't do anything about it. And karma phala is not within your circle of influence. So if you try for it, you will fail. Without knowing that, everybody continues through janmas for karma phala and keeps failing. So then Arjuna is again confused because now Krishna is saying, you should not do anything abominable and you should simply do. So then Arjuna is asking Krishna, you said Durena Hyavaram Karma, and Buddhi Yoga. So now he is saying that Buddhi Yoga means you are telling me to use intelligence. But I am standing in the battlefield. Here, intelligence is not required. Here, bow and arrow is required. So, should I actually be taking this one? Because Arjuna wants to make 100% clear whether I should. Because Gandiva is still there only, not lifted. After 18th chapter only, he is going to lift. So once put down, no, very difficult. Once we put down our Gandiva, no, very difficult to lift it. So, he says, you told like this, so, but then why should I fight this ghastly war? Again, back to normal. Good old question, he's coming back. Should I do this or not? Huh? So again, Krishna will tell Arjuna that Nishkama Karma Yoga is the only way. Meaning, you cannot run away from your responsibility. You have to take your responsibility, because Arjuna is thinking that Buddhi Yoga means you don't have to work. You know. So Krishna said, no, actually, Buddhi Yoga is Karma Yoga only. Prabhupada also explains that Buddhi Yoga is Bhakti Yoga. Why? Because Nishkama Karma Yoga also requires intelligence. Bhakti Yoga also requires intelligence. How? Because in both these things, we should engage our intelligence to understand our position. In Nishkama Karma Yoga, we have to understand our position of the Adhikara only for karma and not for result. And in Bhakti Yoga, to understand that Krishna is the supreme, I am part and parcel, I have to link with him in order to become happy. For all these things, you need intelligence. Real intelligence means to understand these things. Other things, what we require is that is materially dominated intelligence. We are not all, whenever Krishna speaks about buddhi, intelligence, we should know that it is intelligence used for understanding these things. Okay. So Krishna says that there are people in this world who will simply philosophically speculate and try to understand. And then there are other people who will, through karma yoga, try to understand. And Krishna says, but Arjuna, I can tell you that you cannot become perfect by karma tyaga. You cannot become perfect by giving up karma. So that Krishna makes very, very clear in this chapter by saying that don't give up karma. Simply by giving up karma, you are not going to. And then he explains, how you can actually live in this world by, making the devatas happy. Then devatas will make you happy. And in between, you can have this arrangement and live happily in this material world. But he said, karma as yajna should be. Yajnartha karmano anyatra loko ayam karma bandhana. So he said, the reason for karma bandhana, because Arjuna is asking question about this karma, because karma means bandhana, right? You do some activity, then you get stuck. Because of the result, you get stuck. So Arjuna has that doubt. So Krishna says, perform yajna. You can actually do yajna that is for the devatas, and you can please them, and you can actually remain happy here. That is one option I'm giving. Otherwise, the other option is you do for me. Anyway, you have to do. In this world, nobody can remain inactive. Again, this what do you call this subject matter will get discussed in fifth chapter further. But in this chapter, Krishna very clearly says that yes, yajnartha karmano anyatra loko ayam karma bandhana. If you're doing for me, okay. If you're doing for yourself, you will get stuck. Why? Because since I am giving you everything, if you are not giving it, offering it to me, then you are actually a thief. And what is the destination of the thief is jail. What is jail? Is material world. So why are we here in this jail? Because we stole from Krishna. Rather, we did not directly steal from Krishna. We took everything in there it belongs to him. That's all. You don't have to, you go to somebody's property and just take from that, considering that this is also for me. Eventually, you will get caught and you will be put in jail. That's what happened to all of us. You know, we think that this is all for me. We think that this is all because of me. So we take it, and Krishna says that makes you a thief. So don't be a thief. And again, he says, you know, nishkama karma. So what you have to do? You act, but you don't be attached. So one way you can be doing nishkama karma like this, and on the other side, you can also do everything for Krishna. In that, what happens? Why is doing for Krishna better than simply renouncing result? In that only actual yoga begins. Yoga means what? Linking, connecting. Correct. In Nishkama Karma Yoga, there is only an indirect link. You understand? But Yajna, doing for Krishna means what? Direct link is it. So which is better? Working for Krishna is better. So how do you work for Krishna? That is the next question. Very practical question. So, Krishna is telling Arjuna that in the beginning itself, in the Vedas, I have already told that everything must be done as a sacrifice for. So now Krishna is quoting the authority of the Vedas by saying that in that itself, it is there made very clear that this is how this has to be performed. So again, the ultimate authority, although Krishna is the ultimate authority, but because he is now acting in the position, this is what Acharyas say, because he is acting in the position of a teacher, he will refer to Vedas, which is giving us the instruction that whenever we speak and whenever we do something, it should be based on the instructions of the Vedas, because that is the ultimate authority. So, in order to establish the authority of the Vedas given by Krishna himself quotes Vedas. Understand? Otherwise, we may wonder what is the necessity for Krishna to quote Vedas. After all, he says that it is all emanated from him only, But so that we will accept it, he himself quotes it. This is told in the Vedas. So you should do like that. And only by doing like that, you will become free from the bondage of karma. So ultimately, the philosophy is very, very simple, if you notice. Because karma, why Krishna is actually taking the first 6 chapters for karma, that also you should have an idea. Because karma cannot be avoided. Point number 2, karma causes bondage. Point number 3, karma is the way to liberation. Correct? 1, it cannot be avoided for anybody. 2, it will tie you down. 3, that itself will release you. That's why karma. You can't get away from this thing. And Arjuna is trying left and right, asking question after question, trying to get out of this. Should I or should I not? Should I or should I not? Should I or should I not? All questions are aimed at trying to make Krishna say that, okay, you don't have to. But Krishna, he will not at any point in time tell Arjuna that don't do. Then Krishna says, he gives his own example. He says, look at me. I am also doing all my duty. Otherwise, people will follow me and they will not do their duty. So I am doing my duty. Krishna is the king, Krishna is the father, Krishna is the husband. And Krishna says, he says, although I don't have to. And ultimately, actually, Krishna is not doing anything only. Everything is acting through his Shakti only. That we know, that is Upanishad Vakya. But In Pratyaksha Bhava, Krishna acts. No, he's acting as a husband, he's acting as the son, everything. All duties he does. He tells Arjuna, I myself am doing all these things. Why? Because I have to set example. So he's also telling Arjuna that you have to set example by doing so that people will know that one has to perform one's duty. But the whole thing, the important thing in this is that you should know how to perform your yoga karma skocha. Performing duty, everybody knows, and everybody is performing duty only. You look at anybody, by his own idea of duty, he's performing. Everybody may not be performing duty as per Vedas because he's ignorant about the thing. But then everybody is acting. Karma means action, right? All of us are acting. Acting not in the sense of acting, no. I mean working, doing that acting. You know, we're all doing something, but then some people, Krishna say, they are doing, being attached to the results because they are foolish. The ignorant people are working, they are attached to the result, whereas the intelligent people are working, not attached to the results. The ignorant people work. So, externally, when you look, everybody is working. But the intelligent person knows that I should not be attached. The ignorant person is attached. So, the intelligent man he has got the chance to be liberated. The ignorant man gets stuck here. So, that is why I said karma, unavoidable, can produce bondage, can also be your way for liberation. So that is why karma is very, very important. So working for fruits, which is called kamya karma, that is what is explained in karma kanda portion of the Vedas. And then second, with okay, I am doing karma yoga means I do within the parlance of the Vedic instructions. But then out of that, I like to get results. Right? Various types of things we can do. Something we can do which is completely against all principles. And we will get nice enjoyment out of that. You know, like breaking all the regulative principles is very enjoyable. No doubt about it. Now you may say, no, don't speak like that. Actually, that's a fact. Okay? So that's one way. The second is that within that framework also we can enjoy. You know, within all the restrictions, there is scope for enjoyment that can be done. So that is again Vedokta Sakama Karma Yoga. Then Nishkama Karma Yoga, next thing. That is, I do, but I don't have. Then the next level is when I do for Krishna. Understand? So that is considered to be the best way of Karma Yoga, working for Krishna, because you bring Krishna into the picture. And why Nishkama Karma Yoga is not so much as good as working for Krishna is because in Nishkama Karma Yoga there is no Krishna involved. So this is the different types of Karma Yoga that Krishna speaks about in the material nature. And then Krishna says, towards the end of the third chapter, Krishna says, therefore, O Arjuna, surrendering all your works unto me with full knowledge of me, without desires for profit, with no claims of proprietorship, and free from lethargy, fight. So, third chapter beginning, he asked, should I fight? Third chapter, and Krishna said, fight. He said, give up lethargy and fight. Very good instruction for all of us. You know, give up lethargy and fight. That means give up lethargy and work for me, worship me, do everything as a surrender to me. You know? So that is how this third chapter. So Srila Prabhupada explains that this verse very clearly indicates the purpose of the Bhagavad Gita. The Lord instructs that One has to become fully Krishna conscious to discharge duties as if in military discipline. The Prabhupada's purport, I'm just reading a sentence from Prabhupada's purport. Prabhupada said it is like a military discipline one must perform. That's the instruction of the Acharya. Krishna said, give up lethargy and faith. Prabhupada said, like a military man, you should do. And those who do that, they will become free from bondage. In the next sloka, in the 31st sloka of the third chapter, Krishna says, if you do this, you become free from bondage. And if you don't do, what will happen? They are to be considered bereft of all knowledge, befooled and ruined in their endeavors for perfection. If you don't do. Everywhere, Krishna also gives very subtle warnings. And so, Krishna says, you cannot repress anything. You have to act. Because whatever happens, action will happen. However, you try to repress, you will act. So, better you act according to your nature, you have to act. Why that is specific instruction for Arjuna. According to your nature means what? You are Kshatriya. Your nature is to fight. So you fight. You are Grahastha. Your nature is that you have to maintain Grahastha Ashrama. So you have to do whatever is necessary to maintain Grahastha. So this is how that instruction has to be put into perspective for everybody, is that if you do that, you will become eligible for liberation. And if you don't do, you will become ruined in your efforts. So this is how the third chapter, Krishna is explaining to Arjuna about the importance of karma yoga. So difference between karma and karma yoga. You know, yoga means to link with Krishna. Karma means simply I do for my own enjoyment. Karma yoga means I do as duty. So dutifully performing something means it also automatically brings that detachment factor within me. Because I am only performing it as my duty, not for my enjoyment. I am not expecting something. See? So this is in Grihasthashrama also, this is a very perfect way of practicing this system, that I do everything dutifully because it is my duty. I do my duty. The result, I am not affected by it. It may be a failure, it may be a success. Because if, as long as I have very clearly understood that both are given by Krishna, then why do I worry? Only when I think that I am the cause for the success or the failure, then I should worry. Krishna is giving the success or the failure. Okay, it's up to you. So you, even when I fail, I say, okay, you wanted me to fail, so I failed. So I don't feel anything bad about it. And while I succeed, also I don't feel very puffed up. You wanted me to succeed, that's why only I am succeeding. So both in this way also we become Siddha Prajna. See how this whole thing is linked together. So I'll stop here. Hare Krishna, Bhagavad Gita Granth Raj ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you so much. Tomorrow we'll continue with the fourth chapter. Thank you. Hare Krishna.